A 5-generation farm was among those destroyed by the ice. A neighbor shared photos of the damage on Facebook. This was in Pichelville, near the Niobrara. Ice jams caused major flooding in several communities. Machinery, hay, tools, livestock, and other items completely washed away, including newborn calves and their mothers, also killed. An animal rescue group saved ponies, donkeys, sheep, and alpacas from flooding. Iowa-based Lesko Farms Rescue used airboats to bring the animals to dry land. They say some of the animals were stuck for 2 or 3 days. One pony was too big for an airboat, so they brought it to safety on a giant piece of styrofoam. During another rescue, a donkey tried to jump off a boat. Unfortunately, they say cows and horses are too big for the airboat rescues, so they're working to get hay for those animals. Lesko Farms Rescue has been organizing rescues and shelter for animals in Nebraska and Iowa since late last week. Farm Bureau, the state's largest general farm organization, also responding to the devastation. We had a chance to visit with Steve Nelson and asked about what they're doing in these difficult times.
Significant losses, whether it's related to the snow that fell in western areas of the state or the flooding that's taking place in a large area of central and eastern Nebraska, just expecting some really significant losses here to livestock, and then, of course, to the land that is underwater now and that may or may not be able to be cleaned up in time for planting. And then, of course, there's a huge amount of infrastructure loss with roads and bridges as well. And so it's making it very difficult for farmers and ranchers to take care of livestock, to meet the needs of their families and those kinds of things. So just a very difficult situation, something that unfortunately I think we'll be dealing with for some time in the future.
Steve, I think you're right about that. You know, you kind of touched on it, but really we saw historic cold, the blizzards, flooding. I mean, you know, you and I talk quite a bit about how times are tough in agriculture as it is. I mean, and it really, this just kind of seems to add insult to injury.
Well, it's certainly something that I'm concerned about, and this may not, we may not notice the effects of that part of an economic part of it right away, but certainly with tight economic conditions in almost everything we grow and raise here in Nebraska, having to deal with losses like farmers and ranchers will see related to these storms could be what might make the difference in their ability to survive into the future. So very concerned about that. We've put a lot of information on our website that has to do with resources that are available through FSA and through the federal government to help with those kinds of things. But we know that those programs can be very helpful, but they're not designed to make people whole. And so we have considerable concern about that moving forward. But we do have a long list of that kind of information available on our website, as well as a number of other things there on our website.
Weather's up next, and later, a local rancher gives voice to how many of us are feeling.